Well then, welcome to the Standpoint. Finally, our young ones have finished writing their exams. Very soon, they will be choosing courses that they want to pursue at the tertiary level. Our topic for today is forced future. When we force our children to choose the future that we want for them, it's good, it's fine to guide them. But then, do you understand, do parents understand the consequences of forcing a child to choose a course that she or he is not interested in? Yes, she gets good grades, he gets good grades in it, but she says she doesn't want it. This has been a persistent problem. Today, I have the right people in the studio for us to dissect this particular issue that is apparently pushing young ones to the point of suicide. Yes, your children at the tertiary level are attempting suicide because they are unhappy with the kind of path that you are forcing them to pursue. It's a serious program, very revealing. So don't miss it. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. This is New Style. Thank you so much. My dress was put together. I think it was made for me by Ophelia Crossland Designs. So grateful to them. My makeup always by Nax Beauty Studio. And then I fix my hair at Exotic Trends. We take a break. When we come back. Forced future. No one should be forced to choose a future he or she doesn't want. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Standpoint. Let me say thank you to our sponsors. Live strong with iron. Iron deficiency is becoming a problem in our country, and we need to do something about it, and fast as well. Iron deficiency, how do you know? Consistent headaches, feeling weakness. Sometimes the child goes to school, she's or he is termed as being lazy, unintelligent, all sorts of names. Sometimes it's due to iron deficiency. Yes, that's how dangerous it is. Extreme part, it can even cause anemia. It can make you become anemic. And you know the consequences of that. Pregnant women, you're feeding yourself and the baby. So you need to be, rich in iron. Your immune system, COVID period, everybody's talking about boosting you need iron. And iron, you don't have to go and get it from anywhere. It's from our food, simple food. The condomere, the dark green leaves, the aldeme, the cassava leaves, the beans, the agushi, fish. So please make sure you infuse iron in all your food, everything, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's just around us. You can get it easily, and it's so important. I need you alive. So please live strong with iron. We also say thank you to our supporters, Royal Drinks and Awake Purified Mineral Water by Casa Preco. Company Limited, juice time, 100% fruit juices. Go-Got yogurt. As a woman, yogurt is good for you. And if you have, I love the made in Ghana stuff, So when they are sponsoring or supporting my program, I'm so excited about it. Thank you to House of Food, Auntie Vera, Kodam's Gifts and Stationery, everything gift, everything stationery, you can get it there. Thank you to Yep Cleaning Services, everything cleaning your house, wherever, call them, they'll be there. Our website, www.standpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Oval. Today, we are talking about forced future. Children, students, being made to choose a future that they are not happy about, they don't want, but they have to live their lives for their parents. Interesting twist and turns of parenting and being a child of a parent who wants you to live his or her dream. Now, on my panel today, I have I'm privileged, to have them here. And to my extreme left, I have Reverend Mrs. Bridget Ben Naima, who's the Director, Careers and Counseling Center, University of Ghana. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
And next to her, I have the Professor herself, Professor Nana Abba Amfo, Apia Amfo, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Academic Students Affairs and Student Affairs, University of Ghana. Prof, welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor to have you here.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be here.
Reverend, so your center, do the students come there before they get admitted or after the career?
Well, a few actually come before they get admitted. Actually, some come when they are applying, for guidance. So we offer that kind of help as well.
Okay.
So it's not only for students in the university, it's also for people who are interested in entering the university, and not necessarily University of Ghana,
No.
even if you want to go to other universities.
Okay, so it's open to...
Oh, sure. Young people come in and we are ready to offer the guidance that they need.
Prof, I don't think parents, a lot of people know about this. But I honestly didn't know about this anyway.
Yes, I think I agree with you. Not very many people know about this. Perhaps we've been a bit hashed on that because we are also mindful of the resources that we have, and we are careful that our staff there, they are not unduly overstretched. But yes, we do offer guidance and counseling services for prospective students and their parents and guidance.
Okay. And yes,
Yeah, I
Reverend.
could even add that sometimes we also go to the schools.
Okay.
Yes, to give them the needed information.
Right.
We used to do that quite often. It's just that this time with the situation in which we
right.
are, it's a bit difficult. But then, any school that is interested in inviting us to come and give guidance to their students and sometimes even to the teachers, we are able to do that. Yeah, we visited a number of schools.
Yeah, that's what I was coming to, because when I was in school, I remember we used to go to the final year students, from when I was in Form 5, and then they did it for one, and then opposites as well. We all the schools, the zoners, the Cape Coast or Central Region schools, we all come together. They give us counseling on career choices and the courses to choose. But I don't know if it happens now. So it's interesting to find out that it is still happening.
Yes, yes, it happens. We had some changes in the educational system. And sometimes that comes with a little fee. For instance, if the students are to travel out, to visit the center, it comes with a fee. So sometimes the schools find it difficult to ask the students to pay those kinds of fees under the current circumstances. And that made it go down a little bit, but it has not stopped our readiness to offer that kind of help. Yes.
Now, what has brought us to this table today is the situation where parents virtually force their children to choose courses that they are not interested in. What has been you are in charge of the academic student, what has been your experience in that area?
Well, I think that happens. You find situation where parents, essentially force their children into programs of that's the parents' choices. And I can tell you of a situation where this was a few years back when I was in the department, and in my department, which is the Department of Linguistics, we ran a master's program, among others, in teaching of English as a second language. And then we get, people from all sorts of backgrounds applying to come for this program. So during the interview, this lady caught my attention because when I looked at the documentation, she had a master's in economics, not just, a bachelor's, but a master's in economics. And so I was curious, I asked her, why that switch? And she said that those certificates in economics were for her dad. She's now coming to pursue what she's always wanted to do. And we can have several stories of this nature. I must say that parents are usually well-intentioned. Every parent would like, the best for the child. Every parent would like the child to have an improved quality of life than they did. And different parents, they have different ideas of what an improved quality of life is. It may be, getting a lot of money, being able to buy the things that they couldn't buy for themselves, building that house that they couldn't build for themselves, or, buying that very posh car that they couldn't do for themselves. Sometimes, parents also want to live their dreams through their children. That parent wanted to be, an engineer, for whatever reason that wasn't possible. Maybe it was finances, and now the parents think that I have the capability to pay for your fees, to give you whatever you want. You just go and be that engineer for me, right?
Yeah, I was going to that phrase, for me. Parents like doing, says that, go and do it for me, for me.
Yeah. So I must say it is well-intentioned, but if these efforts are not channeled properly, they could backfire, and sometimes they could backfire big time, right? Because parents need to know that there are a number of considerations to bear in mind when choosing a career or when directing someone to choose a career. Parents are supposed to guide their children to choose careers, not impose their choices, their dreams on them. They are supposed to provide guidance. And there are a number of things which they have to take into consideration. And sometimes they are not aware of these, For me, there are 5 things. Number 1 is values. If you are choosing a career, you must think about your values. What are your values? Not too long ago, we heard of some children who didn't write exam on a particular day because it goes against their religious values. They hold on to that. So for such a person, in choosing a career, you have to make sure that it's a career which will not require that you have to go to work on that particular day of the week. You have to take into consideration your values. There are some people, that I know that because of a certain value that they hold, they won't take up a job in a brewery. It doesn't matter whether it is in the factory itself or even as a front desk person or an accountant. Once it's in a brewery, that's an off for me. So your values, that's one. And then you also have to think about aptitude. Aptitude. So what is it? What is it that you are good at? Your natural skills and abilities, right? You may be in love with engineers. I don't know why I'm using the example of the
Prof, did you do engineering?
No, I didn't do engineering. I'm a linguist. But you know that to be an engineer, you have to be good with your math. You know. Meanwhile, for you, when math is coming this way, you do a 360 and go in the other
direction.
Just
like me.
And go in the other direction. So you see that there's a mismatch between your desire and your aptitude, and you have to realign. The next thing are your interests. What are the things that you love to do? There are things that you do that make you happy. Someone just likes to play musical instruments. I have a nephew who would just create drums. Go and take pans and will be drumming, and then he's very happy, he's excited. What are the things you do which make you happy? And then you also have to take your personality into consideration, right? There are some people who are social people. They like to work around people, they like to interact with people, they may not necessarily be extremely extroverted, but they just love to work with people and around people. There are others too who would prefer, to be in the back room, maybe working with certain figures or working with machines and so on and so forth. So that is important. The last one is reality considerations.
Reality considerations.
What I call the woman must chop, or if you like, the man must chop.
Okay.
There has to be food on the table. And so we need to take into consideration all of these in trying to guide our children to choose appropriate careers.
Okay. You're watching The Standpoint. Forced future. FF. Not a good one. FF can be one, but this one, forced future. Our young ones are suffering because we are forcing them to make decisions that they are not happy about. So let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. This is a new star, and this is the one they call fellow Ghanaians. Yes, this is the one they call fellow Ghanaians. The one with the spectacles, the president round spectacles, they call fellow, Ghanaians, and it's not political, please, please. We have the lockdown too. Next week, maybe I'll wear the lockdown. Wait, thank you. My dress was made for me by Ophelia Crossland Design. Thank you so much to them. And then makeup by Nax Beauty Studio. Fix my hair at Exotic Trades. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Remember, iron deficiency is not the best condition to find yourself in. It's preventable. You can prevent it by making sure that you eat iron-rich, fortified with iron foods. The condomere, the dark green, vegetables, the lettuce, the ademe. I love ademe, so I keep mentioning ademe. Ademe, the cassava leaves, the agushi, the beans, fish and fruits, please, fruits. Never leave out fruits. For our children, after every meal, please make sure, at least 2 or 3 times a day, if they have some fruit, just a little. And I'm the influencer for this particular campaign, and I'm very passionate. I joined it because I'm very, very passionate about family, affairs and family issues and having a healthy family. I'm a health freak. I've told you several times, I don't joke with my health at all. Yes, things happen, but then don't let it be because you neglected the obvious, what you're supposed to do. Simple, contemporary, please. 50 and a half years old and still going strong. Welcome. Welcome back, Reverend.
Yes.
Amazing points that Prof outlined, which got me thinking as well, and it's an eye-opener. But we know that that's not what happens most of the time.
Yeah.
Parents tell their children to do what they want them to do. And most of the time, when you go out to speak to young people, especially about pursuing their purpose and their passion, and they tell you, what if your parents tell you to do this, and they are the ones paying your school fee. They say they want you today, they will not budge. You can't fight them. You can't be rude to them. You can, if you say no, you don't pay your fees.
Yes.
What do you do? And I think this is something that you even know more about than I do.
Well, yes. So I perfectly agree with Prof. About the things to be considered, when thinking about courses to read and the career choices. And the fact that the parents don't have bad intentions. They actually have very good intentions. In some cases, some parents think that because...
Reverend, I know you were a counselor, you're a reverend, so you say they don't have it, but sometimes it's for selfish reasons. Honestly, you don't have to say, I have to say, sometimes it's for selfish reasons.
Sometimes they don't even realize that it's for selfish reasons.
Prof, sometimes they know. It's for unnecessary competition.
Yes, unnecessary competition.
This person's son or daughter is doing this, so me too, my daughter has to be.
Yes, and they think that if the children don't read those subjects, then they will not succeed in life.
Yes.
And that is not true. Every subject that is read in the university or in any other institution can be of great benefit to the student once the student or the person finds himself or herself in the right place. That's what it is. It's about what you make or what you do with what you have studied.
Yeah.
So there are times when parents think that, because probably the first 3, did science. So you also have to do science. or you have to follow suit.
Yeah.
The first 3 went into management, so you have to follow suit.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
in
not
our
like
family,
that.
this is what we do.
Exactly, in our
Yeah.
family, we are noted for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But we need to understand that even though they might all be your children, they have differences. And even as they grow, you begin to see those traits that make them different. And you have some kids who would dismantle the toys and fix them again, and they are happy doing that. Probably this person is growing to become an engineer, or if not an engineer, might not be an engineer, but might be a mechanic somewhere, and would succeed.
Or an inventor.
Yes, yes. So this is something parents need to keep in mind. I see that we are mentioning parents, and I know this program is focused on parents.
Yeah.
But considering what we are discussing, sometimes it's not only parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes teachers also cause problems.
Exactly.
Because, some teachers feel that, when you are smart in class, you are good, then it means you have to do science.
Yeah.
And we have students who come in, applied for science, they start and they realize this is not the place for me. I will do better in the arts, or in the humanities. Yeah. So that also happens. And I think as we talk about these things, teachers should also pay attention to these lessons that we are, talking about. Yeah. Sometimes, some students, the children, also are affected by peer pressure. Mm-hmm. It's not mother or mom, or it's not daddy, it's not the teacher, but my friend. Yeah. My friends are, taking this, and so I'm also, so that we can be in the same class, and you end up making a mistake. So we all need to be well informed about this, about the fact that we are different, we have different talents, and so if we need help, let's talk to people who can help us and guide us. Right. Yeah, let's be ready for those differences. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, you're so right. Sometimes peer pressure. Everybody's doing this, and so I want to do that. But
or I want to go to University of Ghana. Yes. Meanwhile, the course that I will do well in is not at University of Ghana.
Why, today you just said it. Me, it was tech or suicide.
Yeah. Yes, those things happen.
Yeah, but I want us to look at the effect of being, let's look at it from the parent's point of view. The effect it has on them. Because I heard about the story of a young girl who was, forced to do a course she wasn't happy about. So for 2 years, her parents thought she was at university, but meanwhile she was living somewhere with a boyfriend, not attending because she didn't like the course until somebody identified. Prof.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's really true, and that's not an isolated, instance. And this young lady you're talking about was an extremely smart young lady. Straight A's at the senior high level, But the dad says, I want you to do this. Her interest was somewhere else. She would come, pay her fees, and then, will be off. And that's an example to indicate that if we don't manage these things carefully, no matter how well-intentioned we may be, the consequences will be dire. And we will not achieve our aim, Some children will just accept that, this is what daddy wants me to do, or this is what mommy wants me to do, and just go through the motions. Other children are more rebellious, and they would find ways to rebel. And then what would you have achieved as a parent? Right. It has completely backfired. Children also need to know that they need help and they need guidance, Right. Sometimes you may have all those dreams, but they may be misplaced. They may not even, match with your aptitude. They may not even match with your interests. As you said, sometimes it's just pure peer pressure, You would realize that we have seasons. There's a season that, it is this.
Yes.
It's accounting. We all go into it. It's journalism. We all go into
it's banking.
It's nursing. Yes.
Everybody wants
it's
to
banking. Everybody wants to work in the bank, and then they will be following suit. So it's on both sides. Children need to recognize that they need guidance, and then parents also need to know that they have to provide guidance, and they have to take those things that I mentioned into consideration. As a parent, you should be alert in identifying your child's interests, so that you are able to guide the child. Reverend, mentioned it. You may have 3 children, 4 children. Each one of them is different. And you would have to treat them as such. You would have to identify the interests of Kofi and Kofi's strengths and his weaknesses, so that you are able to guide Kofi. You would have to identify the interests of Abna, the strengths of Abna, so that you are able to guide Abna. You can't use a strategy that you used with Kofi with Abna if they have different personalities,
Right. Yeah. Prof, let me go to Reverend. Prof made a statement like, some children will, daddy wants me to do this, so they will do it and excel. But sometimes they excel at it, but they are not happy about it. They are not happy.
Yes.
That is not what they want to do.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've heard about cases, and I hear a student, not just university, but across, where some students are even pushed to the point of committing suicide.
Yes.
Because they're just unhappy with their courses. That's not what they want to do.
Yes, that's not what they wanted to do, and then they were forced to do it. And to please their parents, they would struggle to do it. They might do very well, but not be happy, as you said. And so if the child is already predisposed to some of those psychosocial tendencies, then it could get into other areas like depression. And it's the depression that leads on to having the suicidal ideations. And then some may end up actually committing suicide. So it affects them psychologically. In some cases, you find students who are withdrawn. They are not interested in anything. Yes, they are there all right, but they are just not interested in anything going on around them. And that is bad for a student in the midst of all this rich group of people, rich experiences on campus, and you have a student who is actually maybe even doing well, but then is that withdrawn. So it affects them. In some cases, it affects them in a way that they cannot see anything in their future.
Right.
It's like, where am I going? What kind of work am I going to do with what I have studied? And so they have no idea what their future will be like. And that is bad for a young person who is growing up. Some end up having low self-esteem because they feel they are not complete, and so wherever they go, they would not perform because if it begins to affect their performance, even at the workplace. So it's really far-reaching, and that's why we have to be very careful about some of these things, so that we don't let these young people end up in those kinds of situations unnecessarily.
On the other side too, sometimes the student or the child will be pursuing a course that she wants to do, she's happy about, but then there'll be those utterances and that image created for it's not too long, and I said, you are doing dondology. Where are you going? You're doing sociology. Where are you going to be? Well, the person is interested. I mean, when we have an area of young people now who are doing great. They said they were school of performing arts. But I mean, they have become role models now. Everybody's talking about. But then, those times, and even till today, they are being called names because, and what are you going to do with this course after, and it also affects them.
Yes, it affects them. So that's why it's good to actually talk with the experts when you find yourself in that kind of situation. Because you might think that, okay, I'm studying this subject and it won't take me anywhere. But there's a way you can use that course you are reading to get to where you want to get to. And this is how the counselor or the guidance aspect helps, to enable you to actually reach your destination, even though you would have thought that you were not in the right place.
Yes, right.
So, yes. Yeah.
Let me take a break. When we come up, Prof, I'll come to you before my director cuts off my head. You're watching a very interesting, and I hope parents, we are taking notes of what strikes me as the fact that you have to start studying as Reverend and Prof have put it, studying your child right from infancy to notice what they like. Don't take the things they do for granted. You know, you will notice what they are good at, what they are passionate about, and you can guide them.
Yes.
Not force them to do what you want them to do. Well, let me say thank you to our supporters and our sponsors. We're so grateful to them. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, like our page, The Standpoint, and turn on the notification so that every time you're informed about upcoming programs and the things we are doing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Standpoint. My Facebook handles are Ohinire Nana Danswa and my motivational page, Ohinire Gifty Auntie. We take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the way forward. What can we do differently? How can we help these young ones pursue their passion, their dreams, by guiding them and not forcing them to choose a future they are not happy about? We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. We are looking at the issue of forced future, where young people are made to choose courses or career paths that they are not happy about, but they have to do it because parents want them to do it. But today, so far, we've learned that sometimes, just parents, teachers can tell them what to do or what they think they are good at. It may be good or bad, but the child's interest must also be considered. Prof,
Yes.
sometimes the university, you are the one who gives the courses to the people, to the children.
No, we don't. Well, I mean, you have choices.
Right.
For instance, at the University of Ghana, when you're applying, you have 4 options, up to 4 options,
Okay.
right, to choose from. Now we have, so in the humanities, for instance, we have our subjects in what we call bouquets.
Okay.
So they come together, 3 of them. So maybe geography, sociology, linguistics, right?
Okay.
And I think that's good enough. You have 3 subjects there, and you don't have to. Actually, after the first year, you have to drop one of those subjects, and then you either continue with the 2 of them throughout, or after level 300, you drop one, and then do a single major. You can do a single major or a combined major.
Okay.
But I wanted to say from the earlier conversation that I teach linguistics, and many people don't even know what it is about. They assume that when you do linguistics, maybe you be an Ochiame or you speak, several languages, right?
Yeah.
But I must say that I have found my former students in all kinds of industries and organizations. Now, what you need, irrespective of the discipline, what you need is people who can think on their feet, right? People who are able to analyze situations, who are able to proffer solutions, and who are able to apply technology in whatever they are doing. We are in the 21st century. Whatever you're doing, you need technology to enhance it. And while they are doing all of these, they have a human touch to that. So irrespective of whether you did sociology or you did banking and finance or you did linguistics, that is what you need a person, in the workplace to do. And frankly, when you go to our organizations, when you go to the banks, there are people of all kinds of backgrounds, some of the very famous, bankers that we have known in this country didn't even originally have a banking and finance background. They come from all sorts of backgrounds. And indeed, even in that setting, you need people of different backgrounds. You can't have all accountants, in there, or finance people in there. You need people who are able to relate well with others, customer care people, different kinds of background. So we must know that some of these programs that we think is useless, they are not useless. They are training people to be analytical. They are training people to be able to think on their feet. They are training people to be able to look at a situation, analyze it, and profile solutions. And that's what you need in the
to
workplace.
survive in life.
Yes, exactly. That's what that's what you need, right? And I think that career guidance and counseling should be an integral part of our education system, right from the basics. Right from the primary, the junior high. And so we need more people being trained in that area. We need teachers who are constantly in the classroom with the children, because some of the things that you hear reported teachers say in class, it's definitely not appropriate and not right. It discourages, some people, so that even if you have an interest in that, because of that statement that the teacher made, you're thinking about doing something else. I mean, I want my children to be the best or among the best in whatever they are doing. So if that person is a cook, I would prefer to have, my child being, the world-renowned, cook than an insignificant lawyer.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, we need awareness. We need to create awareness about these. And it's at the level of the parents, it's at the level of the teachers, the schools, and also, the children. Right.
That's a very powerful statement you made. You want your child to be the best of whatever field he or she finds themselves. It's very important. So, Reverend, in conclusion, what have you got to say to that young person, that student, that child who is pursuing a course that he or she is not happy about and is suffering?
Yes, I think the first thing I would like to say is that if you find yourself in that kind of situation, be very sincere with yourself and admit the fact that you are struggling and seek help. Now, there are places where you can seek help. You can talk to your academic advisors. You can talk to your counselor, because every high institution has a counseling department. So get close to a counselor and have a conversation with a counselor, and you will be able to find some solutions. In some cases, it might be necessary, if the counselors, a team of counselors find it necessary to have your program changed. That is, if you haven't gone too far, they could make a case for you and have it changed so that you will not struggle for the rest of the 3 years or so that you have ahead of you. But there has to be very good reasons why that should happen.
Right.
In some cases, with a conversation with a counselor, you would be helped even to know how to handle the program you are in, so that you would actually go through from a very positive perspective and finish. That also can happen. In some cases too, there are students who don't actually know what is the best for them. They don't like what they are doing, but they don't know what is the best. And so the counselors can also, take you through a psychometric assessment, so that we'll find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where you do well in, and then you would be given the right advice. There are times when students go through these challenges and then their grades are affected. And so parents, if students, your children, come back with the grades that don't look good, don't just, disown them, get so angry with them, and then make it look like they have nobody to talk to. Be supportive, because probably that little support you would give will help in identifying what to do next. As a parent, you can even accompany your child to the counseling center, sit down with a counselor, and then all of you will come to some decisions that would help the student. So there are many ways of solving this. If you go through, maybe you struggle through, and you find yourself in a career that you are not happy with, it's not too late. You can still talk with the experts, and then you can find ways of doing something different with whatever you have studied, and then become happy in life. So finally, it's never too late, to actually identify what will make you happy in life.
And what if the parents insist that this is what they want them to do? Because most of that's the challenge, that if you won't do it, then I'm not paying your school fees. So do you have this way of reaching out to their parents as well?
Certainly,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
When we get to that kind of, or we find ourselves in that kind of situation,
right,
we ask to speak with the parents.
Okay.
We invite them. If they would not come, sometimes we do it on phone. Yes, because our interest is to make sure the student is helped.
Yeah.
That is what we want to see. So whichever way we can get that done or get that to happen, we will do it. If it means meeting the parents, we will do it.
Right. Prof.
Okay, so Gifty, as we conclude, I want to address parents and tell parents that we should not continue to be obsessed with 20th century careers. These days, the opportunities are expansive. We hear of various careers that we didn't hear of previously. Let's open up. Let's engage our children as we identify, their interests, their aptitude, their personality, combining those with their values and provide adequate guidance for them. I know that parents want their children to succeed. The children themselves want to succeed. And what I would say in closing is that find what you do best and then get somebody to pay you for doing that. When that happens, you are happy in whatever you are doing and you are able to also put food on the table. Somebody paying you woman must chop. Somebody paying you, maybe you working for somebody, but maybe you also, starting your own business and people paying for the goods and services that you have to offer.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I think this is something that we must do every now and then. It's very, very important. And maybe one of these days we'll bring it on campus, to have it on campus, have the students participate and ask the questions, because I believe that there's still students on campus who are even still uncomfortable coming to the, counseling center, or their friends telling them not to go, or they're afraid to come. Or whatever it is, so we all take advantage. Thank you. Yes. It's been an eye-opener, We must be interested in encouraging or guiding our children to be the best
Absolutely.
in whatever they choose to do. That's something I've learned, It's very important.
Great.
We take a break. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me. Dear parents, comma. You see, your children were given to you for a purpose, to guide them, to raise them, to direct them, to be there for them, to support them, to push them, but not to force them to be something they don't want to be. You see, don't force your children to live your dreams. If you have your child who falls in love with your dream, praise God. Oh God, how I wish my daughter can sing, or will be able to sing, have that voice that I wish I had. But then it's all in God's hands. May the Lord guide her to be the best of what she wants to be. My Facebook, a bit of me. Our hashtag is be the best version of yourself. Be the best version of yourself. And that is what we must wish for our children, to be the best version of themselves and not to force them. Too many children are unhappy. Too many young people are unhappy because of what their parents want them to do. Unnecessary competition. As parents, we feel that, oh, my friend's children are doing this. My cousin's children, my sister's children, me too, I want. No, it's not about you, parent. It's about that child. She must be the best of whatever she wants. And she can only be the best in this when she's doing something that she's good at, something that she's happy about. And I'm using she, because most of the time it's the girls we force them to do that. Yes, some boys are also forced to do that as well. A girl wants to play football and heck no, all hell will break loose. But these days we see How people are excelling everything, everything. The world is a global village now. Anything once there's a need for it, sometimes there isn't even a need for it, but you can create a need for it. So be a parent, be a guardian, be a director, be a supporter, but don't be a slave master. Don't force that child. Because though you birthed that child, you don't know the destiny, her destiny, his destiny. You don't know the purpose for which God gave you that child or brought that child into your life. So please, let the young ones be. And my dear young one, you know what? Sometimes you must listen to your parents as well. Actually, you must listen to them. Analyze it and take the best. Of course, if you are of age, because sometimes they don't mean evil. I remember when my father consistently told me that I am good at talking. When I went to him several times to tell him that my sisters are laughing at me, that I don't have a voice for singing. And all I wanted to hear from my dad was, don't mind them, you are good at singing. He never for once told me that. He always said, don't worry, at least you can talk. You're a good talker, don't worry. This is where I am now, talking. I can't sing, but I can't. I wanted to be a public relations officer. I've told this story over and over again. Someone directed me to try journalism, and here I am. So yes, allow yourself to be guided. Allow yourself to be directed. Don't let peer pressure take the better part of you. And in everything, be measured. Be measured. One of the greatest problems of the youth today is confusion. Is that you have so much at your disposal, so much knowledge, so much examples, so many role models and mentors that you are confused. Sometimes you don't know where to go, what to do. Allow yourself to be guided, to be mentored, to be directed. And parents, be the best role models. Be the best mentors for your children. And may our children make us proud wherever they find or whatever they decide to do. Whatever makes them happy, so far as it is not against the laws. I remain the woman with super crazy faith in God, but I know He's giving us wisdom. Let's apply it. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.